Hello and welcome to the Overly Animated Podcast, where we take animation seriously. We talk everything animation here, including Star versus the Force of Evil, which we'll be getting into right now. I'm Dylan Hysen, and today I'm joined by Delaney Stovall.
Hey, y'all.
April Collins.
Hi there.
And Andy Potter.
Hey.
It is the Star vs. Force of Evil series finale, which aired this morning on the Disney Channel and the Disney app. Cleaved. One episode was up today, as opposed to two like previous weeks, in case you're confused. But yes, Cleaved. It's over. We'll be giving our reactions here. We'll have more coverage to come tomorrow and into the future. We've been covering Star since the beginning of season 2 at the Overly Animated Podcast, and here's the series finale. We'll be getting all of our reactions here. Find us at overlyanimated.com. Search for us on iTunes, Overly Animated, Star on iTunes, or on YouTube, youtube.com/overlyanimated. Obviously, spoilers for the series finale of Star and all previous episodes. Walk me through how you felt watching the finale, how you're feeling now, Delaney.
So, oh god, I don't even know. I would, you're just watching it and you're just into it. And then, I kind of out of nowhere, I was like, oh god, I'm crying. Oh god, I'm sobbing. There were several moments where I'm like, I'm crying, and then, I'm fine, and then I'm crying again. I guess I was just kind of overwhelmed. After all the build-up with the magic realm, and, the whispering spell, and everything we've just been through with Star, I didn't actually think we'd ever, there's god, I don't even remember, was it season 2? There's something wrong with the magic, and then we just destroyed magic, and I just they just threw a lot of stuff at us really fast. We had the tapestry, Marco couldn't be in it, and then and Glossary's yeah, let's just destroy magic, I'll just die, it's cool, it's whatever. And I was just sad, and then the ending is beautiful and not sad, and I'm still crying because the show's over. I haven't been truly deeply upset by I've only been truly deeply upset by a show ending 4 times. So obviously Avatar: The Last Airbender, The Legend of Korra, Gravity Falls, and now this. And I'm ugh, how am I supposed to go on? And just, I don't know, it was great. And I think I'm still sad because it's over. The finale isn't sad, but because it's a finale, it's sad.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
a lot of feels.
A lot of feels. Mysticons and Voltron snubbed by Delaney there, but that's okay.
Oh, we didn't talk about Mysticons. Mysticons doesn't count because it got I don't even
Yeah.
Voltron is snubbed on purpose.
Okay, that was I thought that might have been an intentional snub. Yeah.
Mysticons is I can't even talk about Mysticons. It makes me so sad.
Okay, so maybe this will join that.
A different kind of sad.
Yeah, okay. Star Avatar came to an end. Korra came to an end. I mean, Gravity Falls could have kept going, but it came to an end. We're not talking about Mysticons. Star and Mysticons are up there with ripped out of my body and I've been thrown away somewhere.
We'll get more into ripped out of Delaney's body and what that entails with the reactions there. April, how about you? Were you ripped out of your body watching this finale?
Yeah. Pretty messed up, not gonna lie. Because the show has always just meant a whole lot to me, and I think the finale was great. I can't imagine the show ending any other way, and there was so many moments where I just found myself crying over and over again, and anytime anyone else cried on the screen, I instantly started crying more, and
that was a lot of crying in the episode. So
yeah,
there was a lot of crying, and even still what is it? It's been hours since the first time I watched it, and I still have moments I was out walking my dog and I just started crying because the show was over. This is how emotionally distraught I am.
We were snapping each other crying.
Yeah, me and Delaney were snapping each other crying.
We were ugh.
So because the show means so much so much even more to me, because this is the show, this is the show where I started listening to this podcast, and like here I am like talking about this show, because like when I first started watching it, I was just like, I need someone to just talk about this show with me, or like I just need to hear other people talking about it, and like that's what brought me to Overly Animated. And so like, and I remember like I was like catching up on the podcast and like listening to them, and I would like had already watched like episodes you guys were talking about, and I was like, you guys don't even know yet. Like I'm yelling and screaming at like you and Delaney, Dylan, and you didn't even know it. So yeah, I'm very
now.
like right now.
Yeah, that's true.
Except you guys can hear me. So, but so yeah. So this show coming to an end it's hard for me, to say the very least. So, and like, and again, like the end of the show wasn't sad in any way, but like just the fact that like this is it's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, this is your favorite show, right, April? Like,
this is my favorite show, so I don't know what I'm gonna do with my life now. It sucks.
oh no, it's wait. That's not a good thing to end
Dylan
on.
and I could move on after The Legend of Korra. There is hope for you.
Just
Just
move
took
on.
several years. It's fine, but
It did take several years, but like, there's hope for you.
Okay, well, we'll get it. Yeah, hopefully the happy ending helps. We will get into this more.
I'm excited to talk about this finale. So
Yes. Okay, that's good. And Andy, what were your reactions watching this finale?
I think mainly just kind of bittersweet, because I enjoyed a lot what was going on screen. I really enjoyed Marco and Star stuff, but at the same time, a lot of stuff felt a little rushed. Like I kind of wished like some of the stuff. Like this whole season is just like, why couldn't we expand like a lot of the stuff that's happening here in these last few episodes through the whole season? Because I think the best stuff happened in these last few weeks. But I don't know. Like I really, really, really liked Star going back for Marco and them hugging, and then like the magic causing them to go to their own worlds and then running towards the portals. Like I think that was really romantic and really cute, and I really liked it. But then like we have this moment where all the queens work together, and it's like, this feels really sudden. This feels really all of a sudden this is happening. So I don't know, like, but, and also there's the part where like a lot of this stuff feels like there's a lot more to explore here, but I also know we're never going to explore any of it ever again. And that really, really hurts, knowing that like there's all this cool stuff going on. Like there's this new world essentially that we could explore, but we're never going to see it at all.
It would be cool if we got comics or something.
Yeah, and like I really want to see how this world works. I still don't know how Ponyhead's flying, because that seems like that's magic, but okay. I don't know. But I was so bad. They did one more mermaid tease before they even ended the show.
Yeah, Andy, did you notice that Jackie was in the episode? The mermaids were swimming around.
I know.
That was our Jackie cameo. Oh, wait, also Jackie was actually in the episode. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. No. I literally thought it was going to be Jackie at first as a mermaid. Like, I thought they were going to end the show.
That would have been that's the only way you could have improved this finale, is if, no.
Like the two mermaids jump in and then Jackie jumps out as a mermaid too. Like just don't even comment on it.
Yeah.
Just have it there.
Delaney, do you have reactions to this conversation? Do you still not know what we're talking about?
No, I have not. Like,
okay, I'm glad.
I figured out that you think Jackie's a mermaid.
This is like one of the best podcast moments. Like a few years ago, us talking about the mermaid thing and Delaney having no idea what we're talking.
Definitely.
Still no. Okay, it's good. Well, the show never did it, so it's fine. It's
fine.
Listen, it's good. Jackie's gay. That's all I wanted.
That's the book. Okay, yes. Well, Jackie and girlfriend were in the finale. We'll talk about that. Okay, so bittersweet for Andy. I really, really love the finale. I think this is like, I mean, basically it was a really, enjoyable emotional experience, like so much more so than I'd had from Star in a while. And, it was, back to, I think, a lot of what I fell in love with the show, and seeing Star and Marco at the end, the whole ending sequence into the credits with the music is such a fantastic, incredible scene. I love it so much. I played it like 20 times already. I'm waiting for like Brian to post the music for the ending.
I would love to hear what his thoughts are on like the thing with the credits, because it felt very Korra-esque, like having them stand together and then go up into the sky.
And if you only watch this on Disney Channel, watch it on the app, because they take away the music at the end when on TV. It's so good. Yeah. And then the end of the first 11 minutes with the scene Andy talked about with them as the magic dimension is breaking down and them hugging as like the portal opens. I think those are two of the best scenes of the show. Like that scene and then the ending scene. I love them so much. It's like one of my main reactions to this finale is I really don't care about what most of the people are mad about with this finale. I mean, it's been a few hours. We're recording this at like noon. So it's really not been a long time. I don't really know what the reaction is yet, but, we'll break it down because we're supposed to, because we're podcasting on this, but, I don't really care that it's rushed. I don't care what plot is happening. The plot was like really not important to me in this finale. It was like the themes and the emotions of what was going on. Were really the things that I think were supposed to stand out and the things that I was tuned into. And based on my viewing of the finale from that lens, it was like really satisfying. I think it's the best episode of the season. I think it's one of the best episodes of Star. I love it. Like, thematically, emotionally, Starco ending, they get a happy ending. It's so, I love seeing it so much. I have very few, honestly, opinions plot-wise on what happens. I mean, we'll talk about it, but I was surprised how little I ended up caring about the maybe rushed or sudden nature of some things that were happening. It was just like, it just felt so much less important than what we ended up getting.
I think just because you're commenting on the rushness too, Dylan, I think I should be clear. When I say I didn't like how rushed it was, I meant like, I wish like we had talked about this stuff sooner so we could have talked about it earlier in the season. I liked how it was done in this episode. It's more of a season-long complaint for me.
Yeah, and I mean, certainly we've been complaining about the season in certain ways for a few weeks. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, well, what about that take? I feel like that's one of my biggest opinions on the finale. Is like really the plot ended up not mattering. Mina is just so irrelevant this episode.
Yeah. She really just doesn't, like, I just didn't care about her, but not so much in a way that, like, it took away from the episode for me. I was like, why are you even here? Like, it doesn't even matter at this point. Like, just go away, Mina.
Yeah, and I mean, like, the combination, like, the portal opening and then being sent back, and then, the dimensions combining and stuff, it's like, I want to talk about that, and I think it's like a really interesting choice. Even just the basic premise of magic, them ending magic. Like, when I'm watching this episode, that stuff isn't what I'm thinking about. April, what do you think of that? Did you at all have that same reaction?
I mean, a little bit. Like, I don't know. I feel like there's part of me too that was very like distracted by the fact that this was the last episode, and even upon like watching it like a second, and yes, I did watch it a third time. I just found that like I guess that's where a lot of like that pull comes from, the fact that they're destroying magic, and then we're just gonna kind of have the consequences of that. But I don't know, like, there was just so much more going on emotionally outside of that. Like, whenever, like, all of the Queens of Muni show up and they're there to help and, like, protect and, like, all of that stuff, like, that's just, like, such a, like, a powerful moment that, like, you're gonna do something with such dire consequences that you don't even know what those are. And, like, you have 3, like, very powerful, well, I guess 4 if you count Meteora, like, magical people like doing this thing in order to fix like a solution that may be very large at hand, but like not that large overall.
Yeah, I think that's another one of the best scenes is the Meteora plus the 3 of them in their butterfly forms.
Yeah, but she says dip down.
Yeah. So you're saying that should disqualify it from being a good scene?
Yeah. Okay. We saw Glossaric saying dip down one more time. We really needed that.
Andy, we killed Glossaric this episode, so I'm fine. It's fine.
He went down with the ship.
The best, my girlfriend, I was explained everything that happened to my girlfriend because she missed me watching the episode. And she was like, so did they ever like fix Glossaric? And I was like, no. Like she was like, does he ever get good? And I'm like, that's hilarious. Like it's the funniest thing I've ever heard.
I think clearly he's intentionally terrible at this point.
Actually, I think the number one thing to be mad about this episode is the pudding. Let's be honest.
No, yes, agreed.
Okay.
The pudding's the worst.
Like, if we're going to pick something to be mad about, it's the pudding.
I thought that was the biggest plot reveal of the episode. The most cathartic plot reveal of the episode is that pudding has meaning.
Yes,
that's why I
would
was
agree.
mad about it, because it worked. And I'm like, you can't do this with Glossaric. I'm like, seasons.
Okay. And the fourth, I thought that was like the third best, and then the fourth best scene of I think was them walking into the portal in the beginning. I thought that was so fantastic too.
Oh my god, they hold hands.
Yeah.
He's like, wait a minute. God, I'm just like crying this whole episode.
She asks if he's ready, and he goes, hold on. And he's like, now I'm ready. And then, like, what really puts it all over the top is Eclipse goes, are they? Oh,
I know. It was so good. I was like, Eclipse. Like, no, that was definitely like peak. No, when she said that, I was like, yes.
Eclipse
cute.
shipping them so much.
Eclipse is definitely like the number one Starco shipper. Like,
yeah,
It's
for
great.
sure.
Yeah. Delaney, do you have any overall comments on like the plot of the episode, or how much you cared about it, what you cared about most, what was happening?
Okay, so like I marathoned the entire like second half of the season this morning.
Do you have more insight into the plot of the season, having marathoned it?
I was just really into it. Granted, to be fair, what Andy said about like the second half of the season's really good. Like plot wise, there's a lot of stuff going on. Like to me, like this season's just very thematic. It's not very like actual things happening. Like, yes, this is all about racism and how Mina sucks and all this crap. And like it doesn't really matter at the end because like Mina loses, but like no one cares because she's like, I'm an idea. And it's like, well, so are Star and Moon, and you lost. Go away. And so like to me, I don't really care that much. Like, because I thought it was well executed. And the only thing that bugs me is the stuff with Moon. Okay. Because she was because like I would die for Moon and I love her and I'm not happy. Yes. But we set this up. This was something we saw coming. But then it was very much, the whole like, well, I made it not as bad. And then she's shocked when Mina's like, oh, too bad. But I don't think so. That's not satisfying. But I think I was fine with what people are probably complaining about is Moon's kind of like turnaround. But Moon will do anything to save Star, and she truly regretted what she did. Like she was like, "Oh, I messed up real bad." Yeah. And for me, what I really like this is, yes, it's the season finale, but it's the series finale. And for me, like thematically, this episode really did an incredible job of ending the show. And to me, that's what mattered more than it just being the season 4 finale. Because, we finally get all the closure that we like, because I didn't know if we were going to get it. Like, I was really nervous. And, there was just so much to wrap up. Like, we wrapped up everything. Like, Magic's gone. And then wrapped up Glossaric, and we even got the tapestry, and there was just so much. And we even like, I don't know, I think like it wrapped up the show, which is really what mattered to me. Like, who cares about the season 4 like dumb whatever, we gotta wrap it up at the end. Like, they did that and they were like, okay, no one cares about this, let's just close up the show, which is to me what mattered more. And like the characters, because from season 1, like, season 1 is, let's do weird adventures and let's fight Ludo. But then season 2 on, like, it's Star's journey and the characters, like the character development and the character moments we have gotten since season 2 have been incredible. And that's what the show's about. It's not, no one cares about the plot. It's the characters in Star. And that's really where the show's strength is. And that's what, I think they did an incredible job. And, we got Starco. We even got, like, Moon and Star. We have their relationship, and that, I'm not going to say closure, like she's still her mom, but we had that whole, like, I want to have a family where you can mess up and it's okay.
Yeah.
And we even get a glimpse like that, it's kind of a bit of a throwaway, but when Eclipse is like, whatever she said, what was it, like kindergarten and sword fighting? And she's like, a little bit of both, and she's like, oh, I think we should do that. I was like, yeah, this is so good. Like, I just really enjoyed it. Like, I think it was a really great ending to the series, and that's what matters more, I think, than the plot. That was, I mean, it was there. It's not like they didn't wrap it up, or that it, like, I don't think it was like, I mean, this is a arc that's been going on for 2 seasons. Like, it was gonna be rough.
Yeah. I think it's a great point that this is a great, or, potential, it depends, your mileage may vary. I feel like it was a great series finale. In terms of closing out season 4, I mean, the Mina stuff, the monster Mumin racism thing we've been doing this season and the whole show, the Moon stuff, the Moon betrayal thing we just got, even Eclipsa and Globgor. I don't think this finale does a good job of any of those things. So in that regard, maybe it's not a good season finale, but I think those things are much less important than what it did focus on, which was, I agree, ending the themes, the characters of the show overall.
It kind of reminds me of the reaction to the end of Steven Universe with Change Your Mind. Not getting into too much spoilers, but people complained about the kind of the like political implications of some of the things happening with the villains in that show. And like, that didn't matter. It was about the themes. It was about the characters, how they reacted to things. And I think it's kind of the same here, where like, I care about Star and Marco. I want them to be happy. And this was a very satisfying ending for them. And it focused on just them. And that's going to stick with me a lot longer than whatever plot they were going to do. Like, just these shots of Star and Marco together being happy and trying to reach each other. And I think that's much more important.
Well, it's hard to tell these thematic stories. Like, we have incredible themes in Star and Steven Universe, but sometimes it's hard. You can't necessarily like do it all. Like, you have thematics and you're telling important things, but then you also have to stay true to your characters. And, ultimately with Steven Universe and Star, like, it's about family and these characters and these relationships. And like, you can be thematic in this overarching way, but you also have to, like, they're also dealing with these personal things that are very personal to these characters. And so I think it's easy to lose sight of that, but then also, like, you can't necessarily do both. Like, it's just
really hard.
Yeah. Like, it's hard. Well, just think about in real life. Like, yeah, there's all these very important issues going on, but then you have your day-to-day life and like people you love and care about, and there's all these other drama going on all the time. Like, it's not always one or the other.
Yeah, I think the comparison to the recent Steven Universe Change Your Mind pseudo-series finale is, I immediately thought of that. I think it's like extraordinarily similar. They're both like kind of rushed through a lot of plot to get to a closing point. They both like have a universe shifting thing happen at the end. I think for both, I was like unsatisfied with the plot, but like very satisfied thematically with them. So I think we could maybe get more into that in the next podcast. But yeah, I think towards the end we'll drill more into each of those 4 things I talked about that maybe we didn't close out too much, but I feel like we've gone enough. We've gone long enough without talking about Starco, so we got to get into...
Have we not been talking about Starco?
Whoa,
not
wait
specifically. I mean, April, like...
I thought this was a Starco podcast. I'm confused.
I mean, only Starco shippers only. Like, come on. The April, what do you think of this ending for Star and Marco? They were going to be separated. They are separated, but then the dimensions all combine and they are back together. And they say, "Hey, hi" at the end.
I loved that. Like, it's so simple, but like, it really just like got me, that just them saying hey and hi, because I think the biggest thing about like the Star and Marco relationship is that they've always been from 2 different worlds. Like, Marco is from Earth and Star is from Muni, which is like this magical dimension.
It's the literal theme song.
Yeah, it's the literal theme song. And so like, that's always been kind of like something that separated them. And that's been like, as their relationship has continued to grow and morph and warp into whatever, into the Starco that it is today, like, that's always been kind of a theme that separated them, is the fact that like, okay, but like at the end, like I have, like Marco's like, I have to go back to Earth, and then in the end, like Star has to go back to Muni. And so I think this is like the most perfect resolve you could have, because that's always been something that's been keeping them apart. And in the end, like they sort of like come to this conclusion that like it doesn't matter where I am as long as I'm with you, which is beautiful. And it's such a like a simple like theme in terms of like a relationship, but like at the same time, like they got to like them coming together is like sort of put together with their worlds colliding, and getting to like be together in that aspect, because there's nothing that can keep them apart now. Like there's no worrying about like, oh well, I have to like, you know, do Earth things and be an Earth person, or I have to be, you know, a princess who becomes a queen kind of situation. And so I think that's just like beautiful. Like it is the culmination of Starco, is those two worlds combining.
It's deep.
Yeah.
Okay, I love it. And did you find this a satisfying conclusion to Starco?
Yeah, and I really love how it ties into that scene in the with all the magic realm falling apart. And I really love how they say, like, I think it's like, I don't want to be apart from you or something like that. And then the magic realm kind of has like one last hurrah of magic essentially. And I like how that like just ties into this portal appearing and then them slowly like crashing into each other. And there's this build of music. Like it's just so satisfying. The moment when Marco sits up and there's Star just standing there kind of stunned. And there's like this even like this like he was on like asphalt or something and she was on grass, and there's like kind of this merging zone between them. And it's like, I don't know, the whole scene is just set up so well, and I just really like the way it's shot, and it's really beautiful.
Yeah. Delaney, what was your are you happy with this end for Starco?
Yes, no, I think I honestly, out of like the shows I mentioned like earlier, like this is probably one of the most satisfying series finales. Not saying that Korosami happening wasn't satisfying, but like as an overall series finale, like this episode, like it does everything that like you didn't know you wanted it to do, but then it did it. So you get the like at first when you think it's like, obviously it was a 22-minute episode, but like I'm watching and crying, and I don't know how long it's been, and they're in the magic realm, and when Star drops back in, and she's like, I drops back into Earth and drops back to take the portal. And, you know, there's that moment where you're like, oh my God, the portal's not there. And Glosstrix, like, I don't even remember what he says, but he's like, oh, but the boy's still there. Yeah. Well, he was like, yeah, he's like, it closed a while ago, but I guess that's why the boy's still here. And then like that moment of realizing they're together and they're like, I don't know what happens next. And it's like, and I'm like crying and I'm like, this is so beautiful. This is the best. And then, but then it doesn't matter because they're apart. And I'm like, this is the worst. This is terrible. I'm so sad. And they're apart. And it's like, I'm just devastated this entire time. But then, like, I honestly didn't know what was happening. Like, so the portal, like, I understood the portal. Like, I understood that part. And they're both running towards it, and it's beautiful. Like Andy was saying, like, this entire, like, last sequence is incredible. And I think it's honestly one of, like, the best scenes in the entire series. Like, they're both running towards each other, and it's adorable, and it's so cute, and it's pretty because it's this rainbow portal. It's getting smaller. And then when Marco, like, the skateboard like hits the rock or whatever, I'm crying. He's on the ground crying. Everyone's crying. And then I didn't know what was happening. I honestly didn't understand what was going to happen. And like, did anyone see this coming? Like, did anybody? And though I guess everyone on Reddit did, when you said you can cleave things together. That was my first thought after it happened, actually, was that everyone on Reddit was right. And I know that just like, hurt Dylan deeply.
Don't think of Reddit as your first dream.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
but, like that would
give them the satisfaction.
Yeah, and then I'm like, it's so beautiful. It's so great, and like it's not simple, but like their interaction is so simple, and oh my God, it's just so great. I loved it. I think it's like I think April said this, like this is like the best. Like how else could this show end? And for Starco, it's definitely so satisfying, and definitely for all the reasons April said. And yeah, this has been the biggest barrier to their relationship, other than the fact that they're both dumb. But, like, number one, they're stupid. Number two, they're from different worlds. but it's so it was just so great. Like I'm crying. It's not sad, but I'm still crying because it's so beautiful. It's so good.
Yeah.
But I will say it's very there are several scenes in this finale that are very reminiscent to the Korra finale.
Yeah, I mean, you get the walking into a portal to start off.
Holding hands.
Yeah, holding hands. And then I feel like this ending is also reminiscent of the Korrasami ending,
Very,
too.
definitely. And then also it's very, I mean, the whole, like, I mean, granted it was this was, I can't remember now. Was it book 3, the Spirit, no, book 2, whatever. That was so long ago. Spirit, like having the spirit world and the regular world all together. And now we're like, yep, here we go, humans. And also it's really funny because you have all this, very true to Star form. You have all this like nonsense going on. Like there's like, you have the dragon cycles and like there's monsters and all the humans are like, oh God, what is going on? And Star and Marco are like, oh my God, I love you. Everything's on fire. And they're like, oh my God. It's so great.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, it's true. They should be not caring about that.
Yeah, no, it's so good.
Yeah, in terms the title of this episode, this was like the most like fanficky title to an episode of TV. I feel like we've
Darren was like the whole time.
Like this is how like we think titles work. We look up a definition and you post it and it's like, oh, on dictionary.com it's like, oh, here's the definition of the word. Let's speculate on what it could be. And like that's not how people write titles, but that's how Darren did this title. That's like never seen that before.
Darren is like maniacally laughing.
There's a real chance that there are multiple fan fictions called Cleaved for Starverses on AO3 right now.
Also,
like,
Cleaved is not a word
they've been around
use,
for like
but
3 years.
This title is infuriating just because people were talking about this and it's like, why are they right? Why is this?
I guess it's so obnoxious. It's great.
Thematically relevant.
I just continue to think
genius, obviously.
She really is. Also, I just keep getting like every time I think about it, I think about Glossaric and his stupid thing where he's just like cleaved. Now that's an interesting word, and I'm like, that's like some season 2 like nonsense.
It's so annoying.
And it just makes Glossaric more important, and I hate it.
Can we talk about the fact that like
he died? It's fine.
Dead. He's dead, and he's still like
good,
the most irritating character ever.
Should we call this podcast the Glossaric funeral celebration?
Yeah, the Glosseric's dead body.
Yeah.
Is it canceled out by getting Ludo in the episode though?
I think honestly, if you went through like from the first time when me and Dylan covered it, all the way to now, and counted how many times somebody was like, "I hate Glossaric." Like, if you took a shot,
we've hated Glossaric from the beginning. It's
like the very beginning. We're like, "Oh my God, why?" Actually, I think it was like a thing. Every podcast, it'd be like Dylan's like, "Okay, so what did you think about Glossaric in this episode?" And I'd be like, "We hate him. Why are we talking?"
Yeah.
I think I remember you like specifically being like, "Why do you keep bringing him up?"
Yeah, no, because he sucks. He's the worst.
I knew he'd be so relevant into the.
Yeah.
No, it's okay. He's dead. What I have to, okay. So yeah, the Starco in this episode. This is, I am surprised how, I feel like relevant or how much it pays off the nonsense we've been doing, the, will they, won't they with them for so long. I think this finale pays that off in
like
so
Miraculous Ladybug will never be this satisfied.
No.
We're not,
no.
I mean, I think this is the formula. Like, this is the best that we could have done with that setup. Like, emotionally, I don't really care why they were threatening to be apart. Like it came from last episode. I like how they did it. Like it was presented last episode and then this episode, it's just like there and it's part of what's happening in the magic dimension in the first half, but it's not really relevant literally why Marco would go away, why closing, like it's just thematically, it's just the emotion of, are they going to be separated? Can they get together? That's like the only thing that is pressing. And that's completely the only thing that matters in this last scene of them, running towards each other. This is why I was
crying the entire episode.
And
it's like this is the previous 2 seasons of can they get together, and that's all the finale is about with them. And I think like this is the payoff to Starco. This is always what this has been about.
And I love how before that amazing scene, like after Star goes back to the Magic Realm, I love how Marco doesn't care about the plan to save everybody. He's just like, what's the plan for us? And they don't even say it. They don't even say like, Star doesn't even say that they're not going to see each other. And I don't think it's even said in the episode that they're not going to see each other. No. But like, there's just this moment of like understanding between them. And it's really, really heartbreaking seeing them both
it's when they're
realize
they're hugging, and then because oh my god, like you have to go through the Earth portal.
Yeah.
And he's like, but what about you? And they just, she just hugs him. And I'm like, I'm just going to cry for the whole episode. It's fine.
Oh, then it's even worse because she goes back into the well. Like, she literally, says bye to her family, goes back into the well. And, like, Glosser, this freaking troll, is like, the Earth portal's closed. And I'm like, well, you're helpful. Like, we can clearly see that. But then, like, Marco's, like, there. And I died. I was like... He had the exact same idea as her. Ugh.
Yeah. Star's hiding the information from him that she thinks he's gonna have to be separated, but then she goes back anyway for him, and he also stayed behind, and they have their hug as the
I know it's dumb, but Glosric was like, when he showed her the tapestry, and he was like, the magic will make it right. And like the whole time, like, he has to go back to Earth, but no, the magic made it right. They're all together forever now. Yay! Yeah. Like, I know it's dumb, but I love that. I love that corny nonsense. I was like, yes.
And it was like stupid, corny, like love gets one wish or whatever. Like at the end there, like they were just standing in this magic realm, but they're like, we want to be together. But it's like it worked so well, despite being just like where we wish to be together type stuff.
Yeah, I really don't know plot-wise what happened, and I'm not super interested in breaking down what happened. It's more just with or without magic, we belong together, they say, and and then they're separated, and then they make their way back to each other again. And I think, like, we've been speculating, will there be like an epilogue? Will we see them when they're older? The show could have totally done all these things. I mean, if any show had earned like a fanficky epilogue for its romantic leads, it's this one, which has been like centered on these two and doing a will they won't they for years. But I think, like, I like that we didn't do that, given how the only theme we're doing is, like, them making their way together and, like, them overcoming separations and them not being apart. So ending on the moment where they are together, I think, is just really powerful.
It feels so good.
Yeah.
It does. I don't even care about, like, getting an epilogue or anything like that.
I mean, it would have been nice to see a wedding.
Well,
it would have been nice to see a wedding.
It would have been nice, but, like, in that moment, I'm just so happy that they're together. And that's all that matters to me.
I think it's the way to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I just wanted to see, like, hot grown-up Star with hot Marco, but, like, that's the only thing.
Are we upset we get no canonical adult Star model?
Yes,
that is the one thing. If I have any complaint, it's that one.
But let's be honest, Darren will probably draw one, put it on her Twitter in like a day or so.
Probably.
Oh yeah.
Well, comics. Can we get adult Starco comics? I don't know.
Yes.
Something. Yes. Anything. Yeah. Okay. So I guess let's talk what happens with the dimensions coming together at the end. This is and magic going away. Like the whole plot of the episode, I guess, is Star saying she has to end magic. And I think last podcast we were like, I wonder what we're doing with this. I guess it depends what we do at the end with this last episode. So Star does take away magic. No, then
they like for real destroyed magic.
She does actually destroy magic, and then the result is that all the dimensions are stitched together. Probably is there any arguments that it was just Muni and Earth and not all dimensions?
They did oh my god, it was like 3 episodes ago now, but when Marco was no one's listening to him, and he's like having this incredible epiphany looking at like hieroglyphics on the wall under Britta's tacos, and he's like, what if the first humans were humans? So to me, I personally like the idea better that if it's just Muni and Earth and that they were already connected. To be fair, though, all of them are connected, so, like, I don't know.
Yeah, so...
Well, we did see the dragon cycles.
So the dragon cycles are not from Muni. Yeah, that's the thing. And then there's also, like, a Kelly-type looking person in the background.
Okay.
But I think, the dragon cycles seem to indicate it's all the dimensions. I would think that if the Marco thing was relevant about, like, humans or humans, then I don't know why the humans went back to Muni after the middle of the episode when like the magic realm closed, like they were just like sent back. Like, why is Star sent to Muni and not Earth?
The way I understood it is that like the magic kind of not wanted them to prove it, but wanted them to like actually come together like that was part of the spell. You know what I mean? They needed to actually reach for each other and bridge the gap between their dimensions.
Okay, yeah. Andy, you've been, I feel like, most on top of understanding the themes of what the show is doing with this plot. Like, I honestly have no thoughts about star destroying magic at the end. I really don't know what to think. So I'm interested if you have a strong take on, do you like that Star destroyed magic?
I do, but I'm not sure 100% how I feel, because I think the problem is that Star's identity for us in the show has been so tied to magic, and I kind of don't like how it swaps over to her identity being so tied to Marco at the end in some ways, because that's all she has now in a lot of ways. But I really, at first when I was watching, but then we had this moment where she was with her family, and I realized that she was giving up the magic as this show of being like, I'm giving up my kingdom. I'm not going to be a queen anymore. I just want a family. And I think that this huge, like, it kind of reminds me of the ending of Avatar in that it's, and everyone's like, you have to kill the Fire Lord. But Aang's like, no, I don't want to, I'm not going to do that. Where everyone's like, Star, you need to be a leader. You need to do this. And Star's like, no, I don't want to be a leader. And this is kind of the end of that. Like, she's making a decision as a leader while also saying, hey, you guys figure it out now. I'm going to have a life and a family. And I think that's kind of what destroying the magic is for her. Like, she's saying, hey, my family isn't like the big magic people anymore. We're just people who happen to used to have magic, and we're going to go have our life now. And that's kind of what she says to her mom. We're going to be people who make mistakes and fix them. Like, that's it now. And I really, really like that. And it kind of comes together when she's like, I don't have those cheek marks anymore. And I think that's what it is. I think that's what, and I think that's also tied together with Marco having the cheek marks there too. Like, they're together, and then they're together with the cheek marks, and they're together without them. And I think that's kind of what they're doing there. The cheek marks still really confuse me in the magic realm, why Marco has them. I still don't know what that means, because I've been trying to figure that out for seasons.
Yeah, that's not at the top of my list of things to try to solve on this podcast, but yeah, it's true. It was
I don't want to solve it either. I'm just saying I don't get what they were going for.
More of a visual, impactful thing, I feel like, than anything. So are you saying that the rejection of magic is like Star taking back like what's important to her, and like rejecting like this destiny that's been put on her, and it's like her family, which I feel like includes Marco. Like, I think that's why that's important about that too. So it's she's like choosing her own destiny and like choosing to be normal with her family and with Marco.
And it's also when they have that conversation, you know, like, I mean, Moon says, you know, being queen means you have to make the decision, you know, in those impossible decisions. And I think this was Star's last act as queen, was to, like, she did what, like, she was like, magic sucks and it keeps messing everything up. And so, I mean, I agree with everything Andy said. Like, this is her, like, you know, she never wanted to be a leader. Like, we knew that from season 1. Like, she didn't want to be queen. It was just something she had, like, was expected of her. And, you know, it was a big deal between her and her mother, but she, you know, she did what she thought she had to do, and ultimately was the right thing, like, to save everybody, to save Muni, and to save her family, which includes Eclipsa and Marco and everybody. She destroyed magic.
Yeah. April, how do you does it feel satisfying for that to like be a solution to what was going on in the show? Like, losing magic. I mean, this is your favorite show, and you're self-identified magical girl, and yet all the magical girls are gone. All the magical girls are gone from the show. So how are you devastated by this?
I mean, it's I guess sad, like, because that's such a like Andy was kind of saying too, is that a lot of Star's like character was defined by like her ability to use magic, but like I agree in the fact that like she's right in kind of her like young mind. She's like, wow, magic like has like done all of these terrible things and been the cause of all of like this like horrific madness throughout this world. And so like I think like I like the idea of her like, okay, like in order to fix that and in order for this to no longer be an issue, like destroying magic was the right call. And again, she kind of gets to take back her life. And that kind of, like, with that, it sort of helps make the whole, like, her making up with Moon thing a little bit more satisfying as well. Because it really is, like, it's a chance for, like, them to start over. Because a lot of, like, the frustrations between her and her mother go all the way back into season 1, where her mom wanted her to do, like, do and act a certain way because the expectation was for her to be queen, which was never something that she wanted to be. And so, like, and then because of all of those frustrations, along with everything else that was going on in the world, and throughout the storyline, that only sort of, like, I guess, like, was very abrasive in their relationship. And so the fact that, like, she's like, Mom, like, let's be let's be normal. Let's not be magical. Like, and so I kind of, like, I love that sort of solution to that, because she's not just fixing, like, the problems between, like, monsters and humans and magic and non-magic and all of this stuff, but she's also, like, fixing, like, her family and finding a solution that works best, not for just for her, but could work for everyone, in the both, I guess, Muni, but I don't know about Earth. That's going to be real rough for them. So it's sad that, like, there's not going to be magic anymore, but there still seems to be tiny bits of it because, one, the dragon cycles are flying, and two, Ponyhead is still floating.
I thought Ponyhead was stuck in that bed at first, like, not being able to fly.
I really thought whenever we saw Ponyhead, we were gonna have that, like she's still stuck in the bed and she can't get up and leave because she can't go anywhere. Like,
I was expecting her to hop around, honestly.
How dare you? I guess those are just, like, how they are. It's not because of magic.
And that makes no sense, Dylan, but sure.
But, like, why not? There's birds can fly. Why can't Ponyhead
But then why
fly?
does Omnitraxis and Romulus die? They're like magic.
Because those are different. Those are just actual magic beings.
They're like didn't Glossric made them, didn't he?
Yes, So Glossric and all his High Commission, that's a big thing that happens.
Rip his son.
High Commission dies. I'm very upset that Hekapoo is gone.
I feel like we got closure with Hekapoo, because I was kind of mad at Hekapoo, like, this whole season. I was like, why are you being shady, Hekapoo? Why are you like this? But then she's like, you know what? I mean, I deserve to die. I'm over it. And, like, I'm fine with this. I think Hekapoo got the ending that she deserved, and I'm cool with it. I mean, I'm sad that Hekapoo died, because she's, like, the best.
Yeah, she was prominent at the end.
Also, I feel like, I know that you're all going to be like, Delaney, the show's not that deep. But I think, like, when they, oh my God, what was the goat's dude name? I don't even know.
Blackmed.
Blackmed. Like, they killed him, and I'm like, all the foreshadowing, all of it. Like,
oh, okay.
Oh.
I do, also, this is, like, basically off topic now, but I want to say it before I forget. I want to push back a little bit on, y'all have been saying that magic has been, like, you know, that obviously magic has been a big part of Star, and it's defined her, but I would say that's not true now, not just because magic's gone, but I think it hasn't been true this entire season. So, I mean, Star loses her wand, and she's like, she doesn't have the wand. Yes, she can do magic, but this entire season is about her, like, she's not in charge anymore, and she's not really the, like, she's not queen, and she's just, Eclipse's advisor, and this season is about her growing, like, I mean, in season 3, she really matured a lot, like, came into her own as queen, but really this season, like, I felt like she matured even more than honestly in season 2 and season 3 combined. And I think that's really what this was about, was season 4 Star is, like, her growing as a person, and she doesn't need magic to do the things that she does. And, like, I think she's made some incredible decisions this season, and she's done a lot, and she's helped Eclipse so much. And I think that was that was to get her to that point where she could make that decision that she didn't need magic anymore, and no one else did either. Like, they don't need the queens, they don't need the magic. It's just like with Moon, like, Moon led all these people. Not that it was great, but they looked to Moon not because she had magic, but because she had always led them. I'm not saying she made the greatest decision, but Moon has good ideas, and she's a good leader. And then, same thing with Star. Like, Star really came to her own. Like, Eclipse was not in charge of the kingdom. It was Star. Star was running everything. And to me, that was really, like... So I just wanted to push back a little bit on that. I think
it's a good point that, in this season, there hasn't been too much magic associated with what Star is doing.
Like, yes, she can shoot narwhals out of her hands, but, like, that wasn't the point of the season.
And I guess, going off that, Delaney, I guess... Now that I think about it, most of the things that she solved this season didn't involve magic. Like when she fixed problems this season, it was always the enemy that had magic and her that was going like, we just need to stop doing this right now. We need to talk this.
Yeah, like she got like Romulus. I mean, they still were like yelling at each other, but she was like, okay, Romulus, Eclipse, let's have a talk. Let's be adults. You're being ridiculous.
Yeah. And they were using magic and she wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like using magic in the sense that she was just making them stop and talk to each other.
Well, and she was the entire time she was telling Eclipse not to use magic because Eclipse has her scary spells, and she was like, "Don't do that. Stop.
I think it's also just important to note too that like I agree, like a lot of this season and even like in the third season too has been more so about Star redefining who she is, and pushing back at that label kind of situation, because like in the first season she defined herself as like, I'm a magical princess from another dimension, but in this season I wouldn't say that that's how she like it. She says who she is. She's like, I'm Star Butterfly, like that's who I am. And so I think that even like in her destroying magic is just her taking even more ownership of like who she is as a person versus how she's labeled by everyone else.
Yeah, I think these are great points about how magic this is satisfying from Star's perspective, getting rid of magic. I think like I think this is largely probably what the show is going for. I think maybe the things that wouldn't be satisfying would be like how is getting rid of magic solve the monster mumin relation stuff? Like that seems a little unrelated to me. I feel like that's something the finale didn't super address. I think the biggest moment was with this woman. She's one of the family that we focused on earlier in the season. Says we had a lot of random cameos from minor characters from. She says, I think I'll just stay here. It turns out I wasn't as hate filled as I thought I was. I think that's the episode's big commentary on monster racism. I don't have too many takeaways from that. Yeah.
I think I guess maybe like another like small takeaway is that like whenever it's the end of the world in a sense, like what's really important to you. And I think that's kind of what I took away from that whenever she says like, oh, it turns out I'm not as hate-filled as I thought I was. That is like her sort of like reflecting on herself and her feelings again. Thank you, Random Mumin.
I've been sitting on this scene kind of for a while, Dylan, because I've been trying to figure out what it's trying to say. And I think it is trying to say something. And what I kind of landed on is I think the magic in the sense with Mina and with her warriors is kind of like this big allegory for stuff like social media and echo chambers and stuff, where like you're around all these people that are yelling about stuff and you just kind of get caught up in it. And it's easy to radicalize people today with stuff like Twitter and stuff. And like, I think when you exit that echo chamber, things look a lot different. I think that's kind of what they're going for. I'm not saying they did it great, but I think that's kind of what they're going for here. I wish we had spent a little more time on it in other episodes. I think this episode has too much in it to have that in here, but I think that's kind of what they're doing.
Well, I would also say that like ultimately you couldn't solve this in 2 seasons. Like that was the thing, like we haven't solved it and it's been like literally the entire history of mankind.
Yeah.
And that was, I think, ultimately what it was. Like they had the split. You had Manfred, who was like the most irritating character, and they were other than Glostrick, obviously. And he like ran off with Mina, and then you had the woman. And I think that's what it was. Like, Mina does her stupid speech where she's like, I have an idea, blah, blah, blah. And it's just, I mean, I think like this was never going to get solved, but Eclipsa and her family, they don't leave. They get to stay, and they're happy and they're together. And so that was like, there's that satisfaction, and we know the monsters are okay. Yeah.
The robot gets destroyed. The monsters are okay, including Buff Frog. And
oh my God, when I was like stressed.
That Buff Frog was gonna die? Oh,
no, when they were like on the cliff and like oh my God, and she touched Katarina, that's not okay. I was like, I'm gonna climb in the screen. I'm gonna fight you right now.
Katina's fine. Everything's fine. Yeah, and that's the ending for Eclipse, as she and Globgor and Meteora are, which is all she wanted together. Yeah,
the whole time.
All she wanted. I think that's an interesting thought that the magic was like an exacerbation of this hate from from the Mumins. I think a lot of people talking about it like, is magic guns? Like, is that what we're saying here? I don't know. Whatever we're saying, it wasn't pronounced. So
Right.
I do think it's a good point that Delaney is like, it's not, I don't think the show was going to present a solution to
No,
this.
I don't
And I
think
don't
they
think
ever-
it should.
Well, and I also, with the magic, I think, oh my god, I lost my thought. I will come back to it when I remember what it was.
Well, and I think in terms of like presenting a solution to this is because it's sort of addressing a real life issue that we still don't have a solution for. And I think that if they had done something like everything's instantly fixed, like that would have been extremely unsatisfying. And I don't think it would have been realistic either.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that as someone who's largely not been satisfied with how the season has handled this theme, I think the biggest thing for me is that it didn't step on the toes of the things the finale was actually trying to do in a bigger way. So I'm glad it was kind of just one moment. And it was kind of like an interesting moment. I like Andy's interpretation of the moment. Like maybe this is what we're trying to say, but it's a small thing because we get to focus on these other things, which we're really happy with, in the finale.
Yeah.
In terms, Mina's brushed aside very quickly. We get this, that takes care of Mina, like halfway through the episode. Like, okay, this is on the nose, about.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then she's, there at the end and, she gives us a speech about, and she goes off into the forest with Manfred.
Into the woods.
Honestly, I'm glad we didn't spend time fighting Mina, like in the magic realm. Like, I'm glad we didn't put aside time for that.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. She was mostly irrelevant here, and that was fine. I think, like, if I'm looking back on this arc, I don't think it's good. But it wasn't bad in the finale. It was fine. Here's another take on the getting rid of magic. Rafid just sent this as a Tumblr ask to us. They say, I think it's worth mentioning, on the episode of Star having no magic was intended from the start, but Darren had to change. The Disney executives made her change, giving Star magical powers. The finale was Darren taking back the initial idea. She talked about how she first imagined and pitched Star a few months ago in an interview on YouTube. And I had heard this before, that Star was originally not supposed to have magic. I'm not sure if this is like Darren intending to take back her plot or something, or if it's like a callback to an original idea or something, but that could also be a factor of like making this decision at the end. So that's the magic side, all the realms being together. I mean, all the dimensions. I didn't even know where to start with that, but it's seems like that wouldn't work very well.
Not easily.
Did people die in this transition from all the dimensions combining, or is everyone okay? I mean,
I hope so, because that might mean Ludo's dead.
He was playing basketball with Dennis. Just let him have his time, okay?
Yeah. Okay, let's go over all the cameos. Dennis is happy. Let's go over all the cameos then. That's more important than the getting over the logistics of the dimensions. Jackie and her girlfriend, yes.
Yes.
Jackie had her arm around her. I think that's the biggest part. Yeah. That's very glad they brought them back. Ludo and Dennis. It's fine. I'm glad Ludo was not a big plot point in the finale.
Me too. I would have been really bad.
Got more Sensei and Oscar. I thought Sensei was hilarious again. In the Kelly and Jorby, Talon. We didn't need Talon.
We did need Talon. I agree.
Tom was there. Tom did stuff. Ponyhead was there.
What Jana did was the funniest thing that's ever happened on this show. Oh my god!
She hypnotized herself.
And she goes, I can control. She goes, I can make my pulse drop to 0, but only for 60 seconds. And then she did it, and I was like, this is the best thing that's ever happened.
She chicken butts herself.
Hey Marco, we're friends. Okay, I'm gonna die so you can escape. The best.
Right?
It's so great.
But she can only do it for 60 seconds.
I love that she also is like, don't say I never did anything for you.
Like it's so good. She is the best.
Oh my god. It also means that she's been doing this enough times that she was timing herself multiple times while doing this.
Definitely.
It's Jana. Like, it's fine. I love it. It's so good.
It was a good ending for Jana. We see Starfan 13 randomly at the end. See people from the dog park. I don't know why you brought that back. Marco's parents and Mariposa are there. I guess the dimensions combining me and Mariposa and Meteora can grow up together.
Yes. That's so important. Okay. I love Starco, but like, what if we just had comics with Meteora and Mariposa? Yeah. Honestly, that's all I want.
We're pitching that as a spin-off show.
Okay, let's do that. I would love that. Let's do that.
I feel like that's, I think if there's any, which, I mean, there won't be a Star spin-off show, but I don't know, Disney Plus, you could do anything now. any, we're having a WandaVision show, like maybe why can't we have, have the spin-off?
Let's have this before WandaVision, please.
That I feel like that would be the thing to do. Or the Starco post-show thing. What didn't we talk about? I think, the pudding. Yeah, we talked about the pudding.
Yeah.
I liked Marco with the wand and Marco doing magic a little bit there.
I love that initial scene where Marco's like, well, how am I going to be helpful? I don't even have a weapon. And then he just takes the wand from Moon and she's like, what?
Yeah,
and then she's like, you've used it before?
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. My interpretation of the Marco stuff, I don't know what the episode's saying, but like at first he doesn't do magic well, and then I feel like he adds his own twist to it instead of copying Star, and if that's what they're going for, I really like that.
I don't even remember what he said it, but it was
The
like
karate
martial arts rainbow. Well,
yeah,
it was the best.
Because I feel like the thing with Star in season 1 is like she made it her own and just said random words and did her own spells, and so I feel like that was like Marco's version of that.
But Marco, that's not Marco. He's not random. He has his own thing to it.
Yeah, and he added his karate element to it.
Well,
and bombs, apparently.
Yes,
and bombs.
Bombs, yeah.
Well, and I think also, what is it, like whenever he was just trying to mimic Star, it wasn't working out for him, but then, like, once he owned it, that's when he was truly successful. Also, can we talk about how he was writing Tom? Because that was great.
Yes.
Good Tomko to close out
the very last Tomko. That's really good.
Yeah. Marco gets stabbed by the unicorn. This, I think, was bad because it didn't matter.
It didn't matter.
I was like,
so irrelevant.
I thought it was funny though, whenever like he's on Earth and he like wakes up and does the thing, and the medic's like, he just keeps doing this. Like,
yeah, that was a good scene. That felt like that was supposed to be a bigger plot point, and then they cut it down or something. But I don't really know.
That's what I think so.
Yeah,
it was awkward. And we talked about the scene with the 4 butterfly forms, but seeing Meteora and Eclipse in butterfly form, that was great. Yeah. And all the queens there. I like the not having too much import on the queens. I feel like the queens are always larger outside of the show than inside the show. But it's nice that they're all there, and Moon and Eclipse see their moms.
I cried whenever like Moon was excited to see her mom, and then I cried even more whenever Eclipse, like her mom, like Solaria, shows up, and she just like sort of like snuffs her, and I was like, oh my god, I feel this so hard.
Yeah, and Solaria rejects Mina. That was that was good.
Then we do get Meteora being like, "Wah!" and her grandmother, and then they like make up like 2%, which I was okay with.
Yeah.
Yeah, Meteora was great here. Meteora spin-off show, yeah.
Meteora is the best.
Somehow, considering it's Miss Heinous, but...
yeah. How did that...
I think Meteora / Miss Heinous, I think that's the weirdest arc in any show I've ever seen.
It's the weirdest, but it's, like, incredible.
Yeah, and it also kind of works, too.
And the fact that, like, my favorite part when they went to, the Never Zone, and they were all grown up, and then she was like, I don't know why, but I hate you. It's the best. Meteora hating Marco is the best.
I guess I realized the only thing I'm really disappointed at is that we didn't get one more $650 joke in this finale.
No. We didn't need it.
I'm not upset.
50 of them already.
Do you know how much money Marco has blown in this entire show? It's a lot.
Someone calculate.
Someone please calculate it. I could be really sad.
We talked about wrapping up the Moon stuff. Yeah, the Moon betrayal last week, and then the thing is she apologizes, and Star says it's okay because we can figure it out. I think this is as good as it could have gone in one episode.
I would say so.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Like, it doesn't make it more satisfying if you were unsatisfied previously, but I like how it's handled in the context of this episode.
I think the biggest thing that, like, because the biggest issue that we had, like, with it last week was that Moon didn't seem, like, remorseful about her actions, but, like, in this episode and in this finale, like, she definitely seemed, like, very sorry for what she had done. And so I think that, like, helps with, like, that sort of, like, speedy resolution as well. Is for her to be like, you'll like, because she even said she's just like, you'll never forgive me, and Star's like, yes, I can, because we're gonna be a new family now. So
yeah, and it's part of a great
and
her
and then like talking to Eclipse, like when they're playing pool.
Yeah, then they seem fine now, and they're on the same page this finale. Yeah, that was good.
I hope
And
they
then-
become best friends.
Me too.
I think so.
I would
think
die
that-
for Eclipsa. She's the best.
I don't know if that's what that season was saying, but
I love
she's-
her.
She's sympathetic. But,
Yeah.
She's just so like accidentally terrible, and it's amazing.
okay. That's an interesting sentence. But yeah, I think that's accurate with Eclipsa. Yeah, I mean, I think what this finale was saying with Eclipsa is we said what we wanted to say about her previously. That's fine if that's the case. Then
Yeah.
her role here was okay. Yeah, again, I think they minimized. We're not solving the big quote unquote plot problems this season had in this one episode. So I think having small moments instead is a good decision. And then at the end, so they all the Star and Marco, hey, hi scene, and then like they do the credits and they go up from there in the ending music.
And they all live happily ever after.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
In this one dimension world now, no problems there.
None.
Yeah.
Zero.
It
Nice.
doesn't matter because Star and Marco are together.
Yeah, it
That's
is.
what matters.
Oh, then we did. Okay, the last thing, no cheek marks in the second half of the episode. Star looks so weird without.
She
hearts
does.
on
I
it.
know.
It's super weird.
It's the whole 11 minutes of Star with no cheek
And then
marks. It's
River
so
is like, "Let me
strange.
see your face.
Your
Come
face."
down here."
Yeah,
I hope Star wears like those stickers from that one episode where she had that awesome like goth outfit.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah. She just gets stickers and puts them on her
She
cheeks
just-
randomly.
she really needs that. Like it's.
Her face doesn't work without
The
them.
thing, this is what her character model is designed around.
Yeah.
Cheek marks.
It's so weird. I'm just like, fan edits of Star. This looks weird. No, this is what the show is.
But now she can
Like,
accessorize her cheek marks like really easily.
She definitely is going to
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
She didn't take off the headbands though. At the end, no, that's still there.
Yep.
Yeah, it's that last shot of it includes Star without the hearts. It's so odd. But yeah, that was a big thing. Yeah, I guess that's magic, but I think it's fine. I think that's like the influence of the wand originally on humans, on the butterflies
I guess.
lineage.
That makes sense.
Which is
But
why
they're like-
which is why Marco has them.
But
I
then-
guess.
But
Because
it
he
also
used the
doesn't
wand.
explain why, like, I guess Star and Eclipsa and Meteora, because we all saw them as babies or as young humans, but they were born with cheek marks.
Well, I
Yeah.
would say
So-
it could be like they've been like they have magic because of like
I-
the original.
The wand could have infected the DNA of the lineage.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
it does. Okay, this
doesn't
show was
matter.
clearly not interested in answering that question. We were speculating this a little bit this season, but the show did not care.
I'm okay with it. It's fine.
That's fine. It was not that important. Yeah. Again,
Wow.
for the millionth time, the important thing was Starco, and
Yep.
so that's when it came together at the end. Okay, Delaney, final thoughts on this finale.
It just was so beautiful, and it's definitely like I think one of the best series finales I've ever seen, and probably one of the best we've ever covered. And I'm really sad that like I just got caught up now. Like I wish I would have been able to like stay with it, but I'm just gonna miss Star. Like this is also one of the first shows we covered as overly animated.
Yeah, we jumped on a little right
Little
as season
late.
2 started.
Yeah.
Not really
And-
late considering there are 4 seasons. But
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm just gonna miss it. Love Star. I think it was just a great ending, and I don't think I'm as dissatisfied with the season as a lot of people are, probably just because I watched it like in 2 giant chunks. But I've just enjoyed all of it, and I just like Starco happened, and it happened like the best way possible. And I'm gonna really miss the show.
Yeah, maybe it works better as a binge.
I think it really does. Like I haven't had any problems with what's going on. Like
And as we've been talking about, I do think the second half is pretty strong. We were
the
mostly
second
bored
everything
during
I
the first
watched,
half, but
like
yeah,
it's ridiculous. Like the second half, it's like, oh my god, everything's happening right now.
it was yeah, and we covered the show for 3 years on this podcast.
Also,
Crazy.
we have to talk about like how much ground was covered in season 4. Like, oh my god, like Tom and Star break up. Like,
we covered that. Yeah,
There's so much.
Ponyhead. Oh yeah, Ponyhead. And this was like, oh no, not again. Star talks.
That was the best. Like, and like when Tom was like, "Did you tell Star was looking for her?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, hey Star."
Good job, Ponyhead. Not telling.
Way to go.
Ponyhead.
Keep them away. Yeah.
So great.
So I will say it was very sweet of her to try and make Star feel better. I also really loved when Star was like, I don't have, like, I can't with your sarcasm right now, Ponyhead. Like, go away.
Can you just be my friend?
Oh yeah, we see. Yeah. Ponyhead's very sweet. We do see that image of the High Commission dead, but that was just Ponyhead's stories. Actually, so they might not actually be dead. That's possible. Like, I think our interpretation is there, but yeah, that whole sequence was Ponyhead making stuff up. Yeah,
yeah, that's true.
That's good. Okay, April, final thoughts on this finale.
I agree that this finale was incredible, and like it just wraps up the series very, very well. I don't think that I could be more satisfied with the season or a series finale for that matter. Like every scene was like just so gorgeously done and animated, and the music was wonderful, and it'll take some time to get over the show ending, and I just am so glad that like I got to like talk about it with people that I love and who loved the show with me. So that's so I love you guys.
Hugs.
Hug.
Now I'm tearing up now I'm tearing up like an idiot. It's fine.
No, that's appropriate for the ending.
Starco happened. You should cry.
We won't stop crying for weeks. Okay. Andy, final thoughts.
We didn't talk about how Star and Jana said the most gay things ever about each other without knowing about it.
That's true.
They're like,
you're
so cool.
wrong.
I love her.
Yeah, she's.
I'll never be as cool as Star. I mean,
Yeah.
you're not wrong, Jana, but you're pretty cool too.
Yeah.
No, see, it's fine. Marco, Jana, and Star can just be together. It's fine.
But yeah, I just really like this. I'm glad we talked about it, because talking through it, I just like this finale even more. Like just how, I guess, cathartic everything is. Because I really was upset that we didn't get a chance to see like a whole season of them together. But just this moment at the end makes, I think, all of this. I don't think this moment at the end would have not worked. I mean, I think this ending would have worked still if we had them together this whole season. But man, this ending was so good.
Yeah, it justified the frustration way more than I thought possible.
Yeah,
that's good. Yeah, I love this finale. We'll be getting into it more with Michelle, Alex, and Sam tomorrow. So a whole nother Star podcast coming your way. Look out for that on.
And we have to have like a Starco podcast.
Maybe we'll have a Starco series wrap up. Yeah,
Starco,
yeah, make sure Michelle's on that. Don't tell Michelle it's Starco pod. Just like bring her on.
I'm interested to see how she reacts tomorrow to this.
Michelle gets on. She's like, "This episode sucked. It was the worst. This show sucks."
She might. I don't know.
Oh man.
We'll see. Yeah, maybe we'll go hit the highlights of Starco throughout. Yeah, it's oh man, not over Starco most of all. I think never over Starco.
Never.
Yeah. Okay.
I can't believe I shipped we shipped Starco so hard, and then it happened. And it's like, what am I supposed to do with my life now?
I got everything I wanted and more.
Be happy with the it happening and read fanfic, right? Is that the answer?
That's
yeah.
it.
Okay, get your Starco in the dimensions collided world. Get it in. Yeah, start writing. I'm sure people are already writing it.
Your high school AU, but actually not AU anymore.
Is Star go to high school now? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, she was before, but are they actually? And I guess so.
I guess.
It's going to be really awkward. She missed like 2 years of classes. So.
She did. She didn't seem interested in catching. I think this is the ultimate AU world.
Yes,
like, ending. It's like you could have fanfic. You could do hundreds of thousands of words inventing how this world works. Like it's not clear.
And while that's all happening, have your characters going to high school because fanfic loves that.
Yeah, they can be riding Dragon Cycles to high school. That's canon now.
Yeah, and then you can have football teams filled with monsters and humans.
Yeah, and then Princess Spiderbite, and I can't remember the slime dude's name. Is it Slime?
It's Slime.
Wow, good job, me. Hey. Anyway, they're all just in high school together.
Yeah, obviously. And Tom's there too.
Yeah. Who? Who's there?
Wow.
Who's that?
Wow. Tom has come so far this season.
I
That's
know.
fine.
Can we talk about we just left him in the magic dimension?
Yeah, that was the
Let's
ultimate whomst, was leaving him behind.
Yeah, we just left him there to die.
Well, no, he got teleported didn't he get teleported too?
And, except Tom, he just stayed.
He just stayed, I guess. I can't get over the image of Marco with a spoon of pudding and the wand. Like, I hate it so much.
I'm glad you hate that. That's good.
I'm glad you hate that.
The show is happy now with that reaction. That's what it's been building towards.
Yeah.
Put the pudding on. Oh, no.
Holding a wand.
Is that the longer gag now than the $650? Like, is that a gag now, just the pudding?
I think $650 is longer. Pudding, I feel like the pudding was only last 2 seasons.
No, pudding, because what was it?
Was it in season 2?
Glassrick's been eating pudding since season 1.
Yeah.
But it would be okay. But did it? Okay, so I guess that counts.
Who are we talking about?
Yeah, I don't know. He's dead. I don't know. Okay, that's it. No more banning Glassrick from the podcast. No, just kidding. But,
Okay.
I'm pretty sure they'll want to talk about him tomorrow. We'll see.
Yeah.
But okay, let us know your reactions to the finale. Comments, overlyanimated.com, youtube.com/overlyanimated, and on our Discord at overlyanimated.com/discord. If you enjoyed our coverage of Star this season, consider supporting us via Patreon at patreon.com/overlyanimated. Thanks to all our current patrons, especially our patron of podcast, Alec, AK Frozone. And thanks as always to our patron executive producers, Ryan, Steve, Alex, Beatrice, you, and Michael. More Star coverage coming your way, so stay subscribed and stay tuned for that. That's the main thing that's going on, but we also got Miraculous Ladybug podcast that just went up. We've got recurring Fruits Basket coverage. There's OKKO, DuckTales stuff. Find all that at overlyanimated.com. Thanks for listening, guys. We will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.